Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Look, if you've been anywhere near a football headline lately, you know the 2026 summer transfer market isn't just active right now. It is absolutely erupting. We're talking seismic, foundation-shaking shifts across the sport. The kind of unprecedented movement that literally threatens to rewrite the balance of power in European football. I am so pumped to walk you through this today because the sheer scale of the 4D chess being played right now, it's just fascinating.
So ask yourself, what happens when Europe's biggest football empires actually collide? Because guys, we are moving way beyond your standard run-of-the-mill player swaps here. Right now, we're right in the thick of a massive power struggle. You've got the game's wealthiest clubs, the most demanding executives, and the most brilliant tactical minds, all going head-to-head. Egos are clashing, checkbooks are wide open, and trust me, the ripple effects from this summer, we're going to be feeling them for the next decade.
To untangle all this chaos, here's our roadmap. First, the 2026 managerial shakeup. Then, Mourinho returns to Madrid. Third, the battle for Rodri. Fourth, Guardiola to Italy. And finally, number 5, Garnacho's Summer of Chaos.
All right, Section 1. The 2026 managerial shakeup. The domino effect begins.
See, before the players even think about packing their bags, the architects of these teams are completely reshuffling the board. The summer of 2026 is defined by unprecedented shifts at the very top of the managerial hierarchy. And when the guys at the top move, it triggers an immediate domino effect across the whole market. It's like a giant puzzle. Clubs can't finalize their tactics, sporting directors can't secure budgets, and the star players? Well, they're flat out refusing to sign contract extensions until they know exactly who's going to be barking orders from the touchline. This managerial uncertainty is literally the fuel driving the transfer chaos we're seeing.
Moving to Section 2. Mourinho returns to Madrid. The special one is back.
Let's move to and see how this builds over the year, because Florentino Perez just executed a massive power play. At the turn of 2026, Xabi Alonso departs, and Álvaro Arbeloa is appointed interim manager. But by spring, the club's hierarchy really starts questioning the squad's direction. They needed someone with absolute, undeniable authority. So, July 2026 hits, and boom, Jose Mourinho signs a 3-year contract. Exactly 13 years after he left, he is back. It's a stunning sequence of events that just firmly reestablishes Madrid's ruthless ambition.
And you really have to absorb this quote from his opening presser. He said, "This feels like a mission, to create a culture of work, responsibility, ambition." Now, knowing Jose, those aren't just empty buzzwords. He's stepping into a dressing room that desperately needs his trademark discipline. Remember, this mandate comes directly on the heels of that crazy training ground altercation between Valverde and Tchouaméni. Perez brought Mourinho in to restore absolute professionalism, and Mourinho is making it crystal clear that the honeymoon phase, it's completely over.
Which brings us to Section 3, the battle for Rodri, a midfield masterpiece.
So, to execute this new vision, Madrid needs the ultimate midfield general, and that puts them on a direct collision course with Manchester City. Just look at this number, 13. That is the staggering amount of trophies Rodri has won under Pep Guardiola since arriving at City back in 2019. We're talking 4 Premier League titles, a Champions League, the whole shebang. This single number cements his almost incalculable value. He's not just a player for them. He is the undisputed engine of their entire modern dynasty.
But it's not just club football, right? Look at these specific stats from his insane run with Spain at the 2026 World Cup. Going into the final against Argentina, he's just dictated the whole tournament. 794 touches, 655 completed passes, and 106 line-breaking passes. That is just absurd control. These metrics show exactly why he's the ultimate prize for Mourinho. And think about this. If Rodri captains Spain to a World Cup win, he joins this incredibly exclusive club holding a World Cup, a Champions League, and a Ballon d'Or. No way Madrid lets that slide without a fight.
So, what's Rodri's actual stance on all this swirling speculation? Check out this quote he gave right before the World Cup final. "Right now, I have a contract at my club, and it will be something I want to settle when it ends." Okay, sounds incredibly diplomatic, sure, but if we read between the lines here, he's intentionally putting his decision on hold. He knows his leverage is peaking right now, and there is no way he's committing his long-term future to City until the dust settles on the biggest match of his life.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tension of this whole saga. On one side, you've got Manchester City pushing desperately to agree to a new long-term contract before his deal expires next year. They are doing literally everything they can. Then, on the other side, you've got the quiet, strategic allure of Real Madrid. Mourinho and Perez mutually agree that Rodri is the exact, perfect tactical profile they need to finally replace Kroos and Modric. It's a classic heavyweight transfer showdown.
All right, Section 4. Guardiola to Italy,
A shock departure?
Just when you thought the Rodri situation couldn't get any more complex, a massive shadow of uncertainty falls over his current manager. Paolo Maldini and Leonardo recently spent 3 full days in Barcelona pitching the Italian national team project to Pep Guardiola. Yeah, you heard that right. Italy's in a desperate state. They failed to qualify for a 3rd consecutive World Cup, which is just wild. Gennaro Gattuso is out, and the nation is urgently searching for a total savior to rebuild their footballing identity.
And you can see the FIGC's ambition laid bare on their shortlist. Pep Guardiola, Roberto Mancini, and Andrea Pirlo. They are targeting the absolute pinnacle of football intellect. Now here's why this matters for everything we've talked about so far. If Guardiola is convinced to leave City for this massive Italian rebuild, that sudden vacuum at the Etihad might be the exact catalyst that finally pushes Rodri to pack his bags and join Mourinho's revolution in Madrid. Like I said, it's all connected.
Moving to our final act, Section 5. Garnacho's Summer of Chaos, a ripple effect.
When the biggest tectonic plates shift at the top, those shockwaves ripple all the way down. £90 million. That is Chelsea's initial asking price for Alejandro Garnacho. Insane, right? Now, insiders suggest they might swallow a £60 million fee, but that initial price tag alone shows you the massive stakes involved. Clubs are scrambling to secure elite talent amid all this wider market instability.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down this complex, multi-club web. Look at Chelsea. As the selling club, they're insisting on a permanent, guaranteed exit to fund their own moves. Aston Villa tried to step in, but Garnacho flat-out rejected them during the Morgan Rogers talks. Instead, AS Roma is the player's absolute priority. Roma is offering a loan with a mandatory buy clause. It's a fascinating standoff, and it shows exactly why he's prioritizing a fresh start in Italy over staying in the Premier League. Financial acrobatics, player power, it's all happening right here.
So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this one provocative question. Will Rodri stay to continue building a historic dynasty at City, or will he take the leap to become the crown jewel of Mourinho's new empire at Real Madrid? Tracking these power dynamics matters, guys. The managerial chess moves, the financial demands, the decisions made this summer aren't just making headlines today, they're going to dictate who hoists the trophies for years to come. Thanks so much for joining me to untangle all this. Keep your eyes peeled, because this summer, it's just getting started.